The world's greatest podcast in America. John Reed, Cody McClure. Cody, how's Texas?
It's hot, John. It's 87 degrees. We tried to do this podcast like 20 minutes ago, and I told you it was 85 degrees, so it's getting even hotter. I am here at the Valero gas station. Am I clear?
I can hear you so far.
Okay, good deal. Good deal. I'll turn my air conditioner down. Maybe the sound will be okay.
So is this, you don't have to turn your air conditioner down. I don't want you to have a heat stroke.
It's hot as hell.
Is this just confirmation that the boxcar life, that the shipping container life is not going well for you?
Listen, I've been trying to get connected to this Wi-Fi. A lot has happened since I last talked to you Thursday. A lot has happened. I've moved into a rail car. I've seen the Rolling Stones live. I've done comedy. A lot has happened. I had a very busy weekend. I had a big Uber night Saturday. The rail car life is fine for now, but I've had the hardest time trying to get connected to this Wi-Fi. I go into the rail car, right? I move all my belongings in Friday. You still with me?
I'm listening.
Okay, good. And so I go in there and the guy tells me, I ask about the Wi-Fi, and the Airbnb guy tells me it's in the house manual. I say, okay, there's no house manual. I can't find a house manual anywhere. He said, well, it's been in there for 5 years. I'd be very surprised if the house manual is missing. I said, listen, Julio, there's no fucking house manual. I've been looking in here. I've looked in every corner of this rail car, and I can't find the house manual. And he said, okay, well, I'll have to send my tech team over the weekend. I'm like, what? Do you not just have a Wi-Fi password? And he said, well, it could be this network. It could be that network. It could be this. I'll have to call Sheila at the front office Monday and see if she knows. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, I got a podcast to do Monday. Okay, so I haven't heard anything from Julio. I go by the office today. No luck there. Anyway, Julio messaged me about an hour ago, and he says that he thinks the cleaning crew left it up by the cups. And he's like, can you check up by the cups? It's just an ongoing process of trying to find this house manual that doesn't exist. So I can't get connected to the Wi-Fi, and Julio's got to send a fucking tech team. He doesn't just have a password. I would think you just have a password, right? You rent out an Airbnb, you have a network with a password.
I would think you would at least have this document that you're looking for, PDF, in an email somewhere that he could also send you in an email.
Well, he sent me some screenshot off a computer from 2002 that had, he's like, try this network. I'm like, that network doesn't even show up.
You need to tell Julio he's really fucking with you and that he needs to make up his mind of whether or not he wants you as a tenant, because tell him that you're had it up to here and that you're going to file fraud charges with your bank and get your money back.
I mean, unbelievable. Otherwise, I guess the rail car is okay, but I'm still trying to figure out my Wi-Fi situation.
Do you have a shower in the rail car?
Yeah, there's a shower in the rail car.
How does that work?
The shower's not great either because the lip on the bottom doesn't come up high enough, and so the water hits the floor. So I got to lay a towel out down there to try to. It's it's not ideal living in a rail car, but I don't know. I mean, I get clean in the shower.
Why are you doing this to yourself?
I don't know. Where else am I going to live?
Place where you got friends and places to shower with lips and places with Wi-Fi. Places where you don't have to do a podcast from your car. Like, have you not had a fill of this yet?
Maybe I should have stayed in the last Airbnb. It had good Wi-Fi, did it?
Yeah. If you're doing a podcast and you got good equipment, you can't be moving around. How's the AC?
You know me. I move around a lot. It's cold in there. That's actually a good thing.
Okay.
It's nice and cool in there.
How's the door lock?
I mean, it locks.
Do you feel secure in there?
Yeah, I mean, if anybody shoots the thing up, like it's probably not even going to be penetrated. It's basically a tank. It's basically a livable tank. But
How
it
are your
does get how what?
How are your neighbors?
There's an old man that lives in the rail car next to me, and he goes out and sits on his picnic table and chews tobacco and spits it in this big bottle that he leaves out there. So he seems fine, and I haven't met the other neighbor beside me. The old man seems all right, though. I waved at him, said hello. You know, he sits outside a lot in the heat. I guess he likes the heat. It's about to get very, very hot here. It's about to be sweltering. It's already hot. I was sweating yesterday at that Stones concert in Houston. I felt like I was sweating like a Palestinian paratrooper without a parachute.
Yeah, I heard you.
You hear what I said, T?
Yeah, no, I heard you.
It's pretty good, isn't it? It's good. No? Yeah, well, anyway, went and saw the Stones yesterday. That was something. That was a big-time show. Hell of a show. The boys still got it, I got to tell you.
They lived up to your hopes.
It did. Keith fucked up the opening riff to start me up, which they opened the entire show with. So they opened the show first guitar lick of the new tour, and he fucked it up to start the show, which is kind of funny to me because there's all these idiots out there. They say like, the Stones are so big, they have like this big backing band. It's like the Conspiracy, and like, oh, these guys are not doing that anymore. There's no way Keith's actually playing, because people look at the arthritis in his fingers. They're like, oh, he can't play anymore. So there's these conspiracies out there that like the Stones don't actually play, and that they've got like a big backing band behind them, which I've always thought is totally stupid. Because if you go see them live, you see Keith fuck up like 25 times. I mean, it's part of the beauty of playing live. They're a live band. They're the greatest live band that's ever existed.
It doesn't sound like they're that great if he fucks up 25 times in a show.
well, that's the beauty of rock and roll, baby. That's rock and roll.
Sounds like he actually kind of sucks now if he fucks up 25 times, including the very first riff of the new tour.
Well, you know how it is when you're watching live music, though. When you're watching a band actually play, that's what's beautiful to me.
The bands I go watch, they don't really fuck up that much.
Yeah, they do. You probably just don't hear it. It's like, you miss a note, or you miss.
Do you think he was like, "Fuck, I can't believe I agreed to another one of these tours. I'm already fucking up on the very first one." God damn it!
I don't know. They seemed like they were having a good time up there, but it was cool because they changed the set list up a little bit, and I got to see some songs I hadn't seen before. Like Rocks Off, and
I don't need to hear the list of songs that you haven't heard before.
The Keith song, he did Little TNA, which I had never heard live before, so that was cool. There was no Midnight Rambler though.
Oh no, they didn't do Midnight Rambler.
And some people were saying, I was reading on the Reddit forums and stuff, some people were saying maybe it's because there was a curfew in Houston or something, and like they had to maybe cut the set short a little bit or something, but I don't know. I don't know what happened there.
What time did the show end?
It was it was before midnight, so it was, I don't know why that would even make sense, because it was like 11:30 or something. So I had a long night. I had to drive back from Houston, but it's good to see my favorite band still playing live.
They make you more excited or less excited for Las Vegas?
Oh, it made me, equal amount of excited, I guess. I mean, I knew that they wouldn't, like, I didn't think they'd tour if they were just going to sound terrible, I think they're pretty well rehearsed. And it was, first show of the new tour is always kind of rough, so they'll get better as the tour goes.
When I saw Jay-Z and Kanye at their Watch the Throne tour, it was the first show in Atlanta as well, and they fucked up Jay-Z's mic. And like he rapped off beat for like the first 3 songs.
Yeah, it takes a little bit to get the kinks worked out,
I want to say that was the first one, at least. It was either first or second, but yeah, they messed that up.
it's so great seeing a band play live. Gary Clark Jr. opened for him too. He was great. Have you
Nice.
seen him? You like
Yeah,
him?
I saw him live when he was in Knoxville. Yeah, I mean, I like him enough. He was one of those that I watched for like 40 minutes and then left halfway through the set. I was like, okay, I've seen enough. He's good at playing guitar.
Yeah, he kind of boring. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I
yeah,
I just don't know a lot of his songs. Like, I mean, I've listened to his music, but like, I don't. There's only like 2 or 3 songs that actually stand out of his. So like, I heard him play those, and I was like, okay, I get it. You can riff. It's kind of like I
right,
told you. Like, I like watching Billy Strings, but only to a certain point.
right. Yeah, same with Derek Trucks or guys like that. Yeah, I don't want to say boring because obviously they're world talented musicians, but yeah, they don't have the songs. So like you can be amazed by their talent, but after about half an hour, it's like, all right, yeah, there's no jumping jack flash coming here,
Yeah, like Billy Strings. Like, I like it if I'm fucked up, but if not, I get bored fairly easy. I need to be drunk and bouncing around and dancing or something like. But yeah, that's how I felt about Gary Clark.
Well, I can appreciate any blues based music and be thankful at least that it's not EDM. I had a passenger over the weekend that requested that I play EDM music. And I got to say, just the lowest, I think maybe the lowest form of music there is. If you even call it music, EDM. If you
I
listen
think
to
it's got.
EDM, you should be deported.
I think it's got a place.
Oh, God, you
I like
would.
I like being in the club and hear it pumping every now and then. I don't know. I think it's got its place.
But to listen to it driving around,
No, that's not for me. I mean, but when they put it on in the background of like a Fast and Furious movie, I think it hits pretty good whenever you're driving around real fast.
no, fuck.
They
God, I
played a
can't.
lot of that type of music, like with a '90s vibe, in the new sexy Zendaya tennis movie I went to watch this weekend.
Let's not call it music, first of all. But Zendaya is sexy, I'll give you that.
She doesn't get naked in the new movie. I was hoping she'd get naked, but she didn't get naked.
Yeah.
She wears a see-through bra at one point.
Have you considered just watching Pornhub?
No, I don't want to just see a naked body. I want to see Zendaya naked,
Oh,
tastefully. Yeah, just in general. Although
you could.
she's running around in her bra and panties. I mean, you get enough. You get enough. She's a very attractive woman.
Do you know you can't watch Pornhub in Texas?
Just in general, just at all.
Yeah, it's banned here.
All
Even
porn or
in
just Pornhub?
uh, like yeah, I mean all the main sites. Like it's banned here, and my friend in Arkansas told me it's banned there too. If they ban it in Tennessee, I'll be running out of places to live.
In Tennessee, it now pops up and says it makes you confirm that you're 18. And by
Do you?
confirm, I just mean you hit yes, I'm 18. And I got to be honest, it takes me out of the mood. It ruins it for me. Whenever I've tried to pull it up since then, I just close the app. I don't even finish what I'm doing.
Well, here they've got a thing where like you got to confirm you're 18, but I think you got to like scan an ID or something. Like, you got to show them your driver's license and shit. I'm like, I'm not doing that shit. I don't want them knowing it's me.
I'll just
You
go back
know?
to OnlyFans, man. I'll get what I'm paying for.
Yeah, I mean, it's creepy that they're asking people to do that, isn't it?
I think I think it's weird, but yeah, I can't imagine being like a 16-year-old really wanting to get my rocks off and not being able to do it because porn is now illegal.
Hey, another reference to Rocks Off. That's 2 on this podcast alone.
What was the first one?
The Stones song, Rocks Off.
Oh,
I
okay.
told you they played it live.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't hear that.
The sunshine bores the daylights out of me. Anyway, so if you listen to EDM, I think you should be deported. And there was another group of people I wanted to deport over the weekend. Here in Austin, they had a celebration for Eeyore's birthday. You ever heard of this?
Eeyore the donkey?
Eeyore, the fictitious donkey from Winnie the Pooh.
Okay. When is his birthday?
I don't know. Apparently, it was supposed to be over the weekend. And they had a celebration for it in Austin. And when I tell you that there were hundreds of people that came out for this, it's not an exaggeration. hundreds of people just dressed up in like Winnie the Pooh shit were celebrating the birthday of a fictitious animal. Like to the point that the crowd, that it was surging. Like the Uber rates were surging because so many people were celebrating this.
Apparently, this has been a trend. This has been a thing since 1963.
Deport these people, no questions asked, put them on a bus, send them to Guatemala.
Winnie the Pooh eats Eeyore in that scary movie?
It's kind of X-rated.
In Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, apparently Christopher abandons them for college. Winter comes, there's no food to eat, so the starved creatures cannibalized Eeyore and vowed to return to their feral instincts. Apparently, that's the plot of the movie.
Jesus Christ. I mean, that sounds more interesting, though. You like Winnie the Pooh when you were coming up?
No, I thought it was pretty lame. Oh, bother.
You kind of remind me of Pooh Bear.
Too positive for me. If one of us looked like Pooh Bear, it ain't me, buddy.
Hey, you got a similar haircut.
Yeah, I guess
maybe
so.
Maybe if you put us together.
Yeah, maybe us combined would be Pooh Bear.
Pooh's a little bit of a pervert, isn't he?
That's why, yeah, it's more for you. He just runs around no pants on. They've established that he needs to wear clothes because he has the shirt on.
And he just wears that fucking red shirt. I mean, how that's chaotic.
He's established that he needs clothes, yet he runs around with his cock out, just no underwear on, no pants, nothing.
Bottomless is chaotic. Now, if you're gonna take some clothes off, a lot of people go topless. A lot of people go full nude. They got like these nudist communities, nudist beaches stuff. Full nude is normal to look at, but just having a top on with no bottoms, I mean, that feels, I don't know, windy. It feels like it would be a weird feeling.
It feels wrong. Wrong.
Just wearing a red shirt with no pants.
Winnie the Pooh is a deviant.
Then you got Tigger. He's all jacked up on meth. Some kind of speed. I mean, a guy that moves like that, he's got to be on some kind of speed.
I do like the Buffalo Wild Wings commercials with Piglet. I do get a chuckle out of that one.
I'm not familiar.
They asked the big buffalo in the Buffalo Wild Wings commercial. They make some reference to Winnie the Pooh, and he acts like he doesn't know what they're talking about. And then at the end, a little guy dressed up in like a little guy in a pink hoodie shows up, and he's like, "Oh, Piglet!" So like he kind of, I don't know if he was gaslighting them or just never made the connection. I don't know what the joke is there, but it makes me laugh.
Could you imagine?
He obviously knew Winnie the Pooh because he knew Piglet.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the joke.
There you go.
It's comedy, baby.
Yeah, comedy. I did comedy Thursday.
Did you get any laughs?
Yeah, not my best, but not my worst. Somewhere in the middle.
Have you started realizing you're not that funny yet?
No. It's really just that I don't know what I'm doing. Once I get good at it, I'll be like world famous.
So you still have confidence that that you're a good comedian?
Yeah, I'm gonna be good. It takes a long time to get good at it. There's no shortcuts.
But you don't think you're good yet?
No, I don't think I'm good.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm asking.
But I got pulled up first out of the bucket. But you remember when I told you in L.A. I got pulled last out of the bucket? This time there were like 100 people that signed up. Well, no, that's an exaggeration. There were like probably 50 people that signed up. And I got number one out of the bucket.
Well, at least then you could blame the crowd. Tough crowd. Not warmed up yet.
Well, being first is better than being last in the open mic world.
And in trains.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Being the first rail car in the yard. Yeah. Rail car park. Yeah, so...
so how'd you do?
I did okay. Like I said, not my best or my worst.
Did you get any compliments?
Yeah, actually I did. I'll have you know.
They say,
Had a lot,
"Go, good job, man. Thanks for warming the crowd up for me.
had a lot of people fist bump me. A lot of people say that was good shit, man. That's what
Thanks for setting the bar so low for me."
that's what keeps me going. Is when
Just
you can,
love from your peers.
well, yeah, when you can tell that people, when you can tell there's something there, like you're not good. Nobody at an open mic is good, but there's people that got potential, and then there's people
Is
that
it
don't.
true that nobody at open mic is good? Because
Well,
I don't know if that's true.
we'll define good. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, you're not going to see you're not going to see anything great, or they wouldn't be at an open mic unless
But
they're just.
didn't everyone that get great start at an open mic?
Yes.
So like I understand they might not be as great as they were in their final product, but like I imagine whenever you saw the great people do the open mic, it was pretty clear from the get go, like, oh wow, this guy gets it. This guy's going to be something.
I don't know. I think you got to work hard at it. I think there's potential. Like, you can see potential in people, but like, I mean, I don't think Richard Pryor went out there and killed his fifth open mic.
You don't think so?
I wouldn't imagine so. I mean, I would imagine that he did okay some.
I'd
Like
imagine that
that's
when Richard Pryor did his fifth open mic, people were like, this guy's going to be a star.
I don't know. I don't think it works like that.
You don't think they're just natural people that you just know from the get go, like, hey, it's not refined yet, but this guy's got it? Because I disagree. I think there's people that you're like, this guy's got it.
Well, there's people that are naturally funnier than other people, but
Well,
like
yeah,
I
of
don't.
course.
But like, it takes a long time to refine it. I think.
Well,
'Cause
again, yeah, I'm not saying you'd be ready for I'm not saying you'd be ready for like a 1 hour special or something like that. But I'm just saying, I bet there are some people that are just have been really great at open mic since they started.
In that Comedy Store book that I read, they did say that Robin Williams, pretty early on, people could tell that he was different. He
Well,
was
that's
a
what I'm saying.
different animal.
I bet there's a lot of people that are just like, no, this person's a natural. Like we know he's going to be successful.
I don't know. I think it works differently for different people.
Of course.
It took George Carlin a long time to build his into what he was. But
Well, yeah, but
like
his is yeah. I mean, I think George Carlin is probably one of, if not the most nuanced comedian of all time, though, right? I mean, like when you talk about the societal issues, and you kind of craft, you're doing a political statement almost as much as you are a routine. It seems like a lot of times with him. No,
in his later years, yeah.
yeah,
But
like same as Chappelle. I mean, I would imagine Chappelle wasn't weaving in and out of stories like that at the beginning.
Carlin was a working comic for 30 years before he ever did anything political. Like, he did Jammin' in New York in 1992, and that's probably known as his best special. And he was very political on that one, like talking about Reagan and stuff. But a lot of people didn't like that Carlin. I'm talking about just being funny, though. I think it takes time you got to kind of find your lane. You got to find yourself.
Hey, man, if that's what keeps you going and showing up and waking up in the morning, go for it. I would imagine that there's plenty of people that you could just tell this person, kind of like just sports. Like, hey, this person has the athleticism to be a stud. Now, whether or not you can harness it and mold that into, mold that from potential into greatness, sure. I understand that, but
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy was a phenom.
Now, of course, yeah, we're talking about like the LeBron James of comedy. We're talking about people that just had it. I don't know. I just think that I'd be surprised. I would like to see what the break-even point is for comics and like knowing they were good. Like how many open mics do they have to get before people are like, oh yeah, these people are funny. Hey, this person's got something. Because I'd imagine for the people that actually make it, it's probably fewer than 30 times.
Eddie Murphy and Dave Chappelle were both pretty young when they started getting success. Like Eddie Murphy was like 21 when that first special came out. And I mean, he was an overnight sensation, but there's other guys. It depends on who you like. Like if you look at who the big comedians are today, Bill Burr, it took him a long time to build his into becoming one of the elite comics. Like
Right, but I wonder if you had seen Bill Burr's 30th stand-up, if you'd be like, oh, yeah, this guy's good.
I don't know. I think they're all different. Like he would tell you that he was terrible, but like a lot of those guys say they're terrible. You know.
Well, I think all those guys probably. Well, yeah, I mean, but I also think you're armed with hindsight, and you're armed with like Bill Burr and whomever that makes it is going to be so much more sophisticated when it comes to comedy 20 years later. That like, oh yeah, I thought I was good now, but I ain't no shit. I had to learn this, this, and this. Yeah, I understand that, but just in terms of having the bones there and like seeing the potential. Like being like, oh yeah, the timing may not be perfect here, but there's something here. Like we know this person's going to be good.
And then you look at a guy like Joe Rogan, who's been doing it for 30 years, and he's still not funny. You know, it's different for everybody.
Do people not like Joe Rogan stand up?
I don't know many people that do.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really heard any good things about it. I know he's more of a podcaster than a comedian.
I don't think I've ever laughed at a Joe Rogan like comedy special, but
I've never watched more than 5 minutes of one.
There's got to be somebody that likes it, you know. I imagine there's some dudes out there that have like those purple and green lights underneath their trucks that probably like Joe Rogan's comedy.
That sounds about right.
Yep. So the Titans, they drafted a kid out of Texas over the weekend, right? Funny thing, I thought you might be interested in that, or maybe not interested, but just a fun thing to. Anyway, I gave a ride to an Asian girl who said that she made out with that guy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because she was telling me, she's like, "Have you heard of what's it, Trayvon something or
Sweat?"
Yeah, I don't know, because we were talking about sports or whatever, and she's like, yeah, Texas had a guy drafted, and this guy, or the Titans drafted a guy from Texas, and we used to, like, mess around and stuff, or something.
So she's just running around telling people that?
I guess so. Clearly crazy.
Was she hot?
She was Asian, so yeah.
Not all Asians are hot.
That's true. You know, you got a good point there. Not all Asians are hot, but she was like one of the hot Asians.
Okay.
Like,
well, that's good.
Korean. You know?
It gives me a little bit of pause because, you know, I go back to Steve McNair.
Thought you were going to say Steve Martin.
No, Steve McNair.
Steve Martin, he's another one that took kind of an early. He got big kind of early.
His mistress was 19 years old. Goodness gracious.
Steve Martin's?
Steve McNair.
The one that killed him?
The one that got pinned for killing him, yeah.
Would you rather be Steve Martin or Steve McNair?
I think you got to go with Steve Martin. Steve Martin is pretty universally loved.
Yeah. I mean, and he's gotten to live a full life as opposed to McNair.
Well, yeah, but also just mean he's pretty universally loved. Like I feel like he's got one of the higher approval ratings than any celebrity.
Probably.
No one dislikes Steve Martin.
But to have one of the historically largest cocks of all time and play quarterback at the NFL level, I mean, the highs would have been pretty high for McNair.
I bet Steve Martin was having a lot of sex too if he wanted.
Yeah, but he wasn't like nobody looked at Steve Martin's, package and said, "Wow."
I will say Steve Martin has never. I can't imagine there have been too many times throughout his life that Steve Martin has felt sexy. I don't know how many people are lusting after Steve Martin.
No, he's just kind of everybody's math teacher. That's kind of the vibe he gives off. Everybody's
granddad, kind of.
Yeah, if your granddad stayed in shape,
Sure. Yeah, that's an important distinction.
He doesn't remind me of my granddad. He's like the Gentile granddad that like goes for runs.
It's just the white hair. He's got the Pete Carroll thing going. Although I imagine Pete Carroll's been deemed sexy plenty of times. I don't think Steve Martin's had that going for him. But hey, a nice renaissance for Steve Martin. The Only Murderers in the Building. combined with that Apple documentary, Steve Martin is as popular as I don't want to say ever before, but a nice little swan song here at the end of his career.
I had to change a tire Friday night too. I've had a really busy 3 days since the last time we talked.
Did you change your tire successfully?
I did, yeah.
Were you nervous?
No, I mean, I knew as long as I tightened the lug nuts, I'd be all right. I mean, I'm not completely useless. But
have you gotten a new tire yet?
Well, I got a used tire, but yeah.
Okay, but you're off the donut.
I'm not driving on the spare, no.
Okay, good.
I couldn't do that. Like driving people around, I'd feel insecure about that.
Well, that's what I was going to suggest. I was going to say that you can't be doing that, but I'm glad to know that you took it upon yourself to be like, hey, I can't do that.
Yeah, I was proud of myself for changing the tire out, though. I felt like a real man.
Hell yeah!
It's one of those moments, you know, that because you don't get to do that often as a regular just guy who just lives in 2024. You don't get to be a man that often, unless you work with your hands. Unless you are a man who still does manual labor. Those of us who don't need these opportunities from time to time.
Just a glorified chauffeur that doesn't own any property and doesn't have anything to fix around the house. I would imagine that, yeah, you are struggling to feel like a man from time to time.
I don't think I'm a glorified chauffeur either. I think chauffeurs, like, they wear tuxedos and shit. Like,
you're right. A glorified chauffeur is giving you way too much credit. You are below even a taxi driver.
I'm a glorified guy who picks up hitchhikers is what I am.
You are someone that taxi drivers look down upon. Taxi drivers probably look at chauffeurs like, man, that's a job I want. You're somewhere between taxi driver and valet. I do think you probably get a little bit more respect than just your random valet. But maybe not. Yeah. Maybe not, actually.
I don't know. I feel like once you accumulate as many rides as I have, I mean, you're looking at a guy that's done over 15,000 ride shares.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's very sad. You get gold stars too from every you get Uber sends you a new gold star every 5,000 rides you do.
You're like the 45-year-old stripper that never actually went back to school. You kept telling yourself at the beginning it was just a means to an end. You're gonna, hey, I just gotta pay some rent. Hey, I gotta save up for school. I'll strip and do this OnlyFans to pay through school, and then you realize, I'm not gonna do that. And you just keep going and going and going. Next thing you know, you're the 43-year-old stripper.
Yeah, and I'm running out of time. I'm not as attractive as I used to be. I did get a nice tip the other night from I picked up a old man wearing a suit and his wife wearing a dress. She was a real cunt, by the way, but they were just that Southern couple, that Southern gentleman type of shit it's like the Eddie V's seafood crowd. That's where I picked them up. They're going out for like a nice dinner. Just the type of people that really don't view you as a person, but they will tip you if you turn on the charm. I'm pretty good at turning on that Southern boy charm.
How much do they tip you?
$20.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean that's a good tip for Uber.
Yeah, that's a really good tip. I would never tip an Uber driver $20.
Well, you never had one turn on that Southern boy charm like I can.
No, I'd probably be like, sir, please stop. You're scaring me.
I could just tell the way that they talked. He's like one of these. Yeah, we're from down there in Beaumont, Texas. We live. It's a pretty conservative area where we live. Oh, was that right, man? Yeah, you like it down there? Ain't too many liberals down there, is there? No, we don't have too many liberals at all. You got a lot of weird folks up here in Austin, women with hairy legs and such. Yeah, they're kind of freaky. Well, I don't really like them.
At what point did you say you had just gotten there from Tennessee?
I said that. Yeah, I did say that.
I know. At what point? How quickly into the conversation did you say, yeah, I relocated from Tennessee. That's where I'm from. My folks back home back there. Well, my folks are from Arkansas, but I went to school up in Tennessee.
Yeah, you get that whole tri-state, I love Texas, Tennessee, and Arkansas. You don't mention California to this crowd.
I figured you would say you went to California, but that you just hated it so much, too many yuppies that you moved. I started working my way back down south.
No, you don't even mention California to these folks. But
Nothing says date night like getting picked up by you in your Honda Accord. Like this guy couldn't have at least splurged for like a Uber XL or an Uber Black. Like he just went straight cheap, huh?
You'd think they'd get like a car service.
At least you didn't do it with a pool, I guess. Do you ever do pools? The Uber pool? Yeah, like the Uber pool. Is that still a thing?
No, fuck no. Where you pick up multiple random pass, like no. That's a type of ride you don't want to do.
I did one of those on accident one time. I guess whenever the service was just started being offered by Uber, and I didn't really realize what it was. I guess
Uber Share they call it,
or maybe it was. I think it used to be called Uber Pool, and it was a lot cheaper. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll take this. But then I was with like 3 other parties. It was miserable.
Yeah, you get the type of clientele that wants a cheaper ride too. It's not a. Yeah,
it was a big mistake by me.
No, I don't do that. I only do. I cherry pick. You know, I've explained this to you before. I'm very picky. I don't pick up I don't pick up people from grocery stores. I don't pick up people from hospitals. I don't pick up fat people. I don't pick up anybody who looks like they smell. Anybody with pronouns in their bio, I cancel. I mean, I do a lot of discriminating with my passengers. So, you know, I had a big fat bitch the other day, and I was just disgusted by it. She wouldn't walk to the car. So I just out of pettiness, and this probably makes me an asshole. You know, I maybe I am an asshole. I don't know, but I just kept circling the building until I could cancel and get the fee because she pissed me off. I got there, and you know, she had set the pickup point up from this Target. Like, it was probably no shit. I'm no exaggeration. I got to say 40 yards. 40 yards from where her fat ass was standing on the corner up this very slight hill. You know, they don't have big hills here. It was a very slight grade. 40 yards is where she set the pickup, and I'm sitting there, and she just, you know, she messaged me and said, you're going to have to circle back. You're going to have to come back around. Mind you, this is, you know, heavy traffic. This is at 5:30 in the afternoon. And I said, no, I'm at the pickup point. You set the pickup point. I'm right here. If you want to come, this is where I'm at. And I started looking in my mirror trying to figure out who this bitch was. And so I did circle around, and I circled back, and I'm talking no less than 450 pounds. I mean, she could have been on one of those TLC shows. And she's just standing on the corner, and she kept messaging me and said, I can't walk. I can't walk to you. And I wanted so badly to be like, you know, maybe if you would walk a little bit, you wouldn't look the way you do. But of course, I didn't say that. Yeah. Anyway, you know, if you walked like me, if you cared about your health like I do, maybe you could be 330 pounds instead of 450.
Which the quality of life for her would drastically improve at that point.
I've been over 400 pounds, and I got to tell you, yeah, I mean, 70 pounds does make a big difference. You know, I can at least walk places. Like, it made me sick to even look at her.
So what happened? So you just said, I'm not moving, and she said, well, I'm not either, and you guys just stared at each other, or what?
Yeah, we started arguing through the message app. I said, I'm at the pickup point. You set the pickup point here. And then she said, no, I didn't set the pickup point there. I'm not paying your stupid fucking cancel fee or whatever. Like, she giving me lip. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're going to pay. So once you tell me that, I'm like, you're
giving you fingers.
Yeah. But once you tell me that, like, you're going to pay the cancel fee. It's going to charge you automatically. You're giving up that $5 cupcake. So I just watched her waddle around the corner there. I mean, who is so sorry that they can't walk, 40 yards?
Well, I gotta ask.
It's pathetic.
I gotta ask.
Pathetic.
I gotta ask. You did say that you circled the block.
Yeah.
So did you drive past her again?
Yes.
Back to the pickup point?
Yeah. At that point, it was obvious that I wasn't picking her up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you could have picked her up had she not been so fat. And had she been just a little less mouthy.
Her being fat is not the reason I didn't pick her up. Her acting like she couldn't fucking walk 40 yards is what pissed me off. So if you had pulled
around and she was attractive and in a walking boot, would you have stopped?
Well, of course. Of course I would stop. What are you talking about?
So her being fat and unattractive played into this.
Yeah, because I've been that person and I hated that person. I don't hate myself now. You think I hate myself now, but I don't hate myself now. But I've been 400 pounds, and you got to be such a lazy fucking piece of shit to not be able to walk around the corner, to be 400 pounds. Like, it's just pathetic.
Did at any point during this argument, did you ask her why she couldn't walk?
No, because she would have probably given me some shit like, well, first of all, you're not going to ask that, but she probably would have given me some shit like she had a disability or some shit, which would have pissed me off even further.
Yeah, I guess I would have probably just said why, but I guess you're right. You probably can't ask that. It's a good way to get thrown off of Uber for not being inclusive.
Yeah, exactly. Why can't you walk? Is it because you're 400 pounds and you're lazy? Is it because you got to shit at all times? Is it because you can't reach your asshole when you wipe?
So did you get your $5?
Yeah, I got my cancel fee. I got.
Was it worth it? Was it worth ruining this woman's day? She's obviously got enough going on that's keeping her sad and depressed. Was your $5 worth ruining this poor woman's day? This big old fat depressed slobby of a woman. Was it worth it?
I'm sure she was okay. There was a Chick-fil-A next door, so I'm sure she was all right. She probably, just went back in there where she came from. Let me go ahead and get the pizza milkshake. My Uber driver canceled on me.
She couldn't afford it. You took her $5.
Let me get another 8 count of nuggets. I mean, I've done some fat things in my life, obviously. I've told you some gross stories. But the laziness of the fat community really pisses me off. Like the fact that you can't walk. Fuck you. You know what I mean? There's people out there that actually can't walk. Not just because they're the size of a fucking house. There's people actually who have disabilities who actually cannot walk. And those are the people, you feel bad for people that.
So now you're standing up. You're standing up for the disabled.
That's right.
You're making a stand.
Yeah.
You're making this a big moral crusade of yours, not just that you were disgusted by her and you didn't want big fatty in your car.
When you go to Walmart and you ride on a motorized scooter, and then there's a 90-year-old woman who comes in there who can't get Medicare anymore, who can't get, she's worked all her life and she just doesn't have the money and she can't get the resources, and her Social Security ran out and she got a bad draw and she's just old and elderly and would like to be able to use that scooter, but she can't because you're 30 and you got fucking orange and green hair and you weigh 500 pounds and you're riding around that motorized scooter. That's the type of thing that pisses me off.
I don't like this body shaming that you're doing here.
We can't take care of the elderly in this country, people who actually need these resources, because of all these fat, lazy pieces of shit that don't want to do anything. I mean, you can, look, I've told you I've done fat stuff, so maybe I sound like a hypocrite, but I'm still out here trying to work. I'm still out here trying to make money. I walk, I don't collect a check from the government because I got a fucking thyroid issue. You don't have a thyroid issue. You got a chicken thigh issue. That's the only fucking thigh issue you got. I don't like these people.
Your big old man that got in your car for date night, he'd be so proud of you right now. It sounds like you are still trying to impress him, hoping he'll bring you $20 more.
And now you got Ozempic. I don't even know what the deal is with that. I know my mom is not a big fat piece of shit, but she does have diabetes and she has trouble getting her medicine. Sometimes. Just leeches. That's what these people are. Everybody wants a handout. Am I covering all the bases here? Could I run for office yet?
I'd vote for you. Do you have it sounds like you're doing a routine. Do you have your 1 minute for us?
I'm not doing a routine. I was just...
No, I know, but it sounded like a routine. Do you have your routine ready for us? Do you have your minute?
I'll give you the minute.
All right, hold on. Let me go ahead and verify. Let me make sure that we got our 75 likes. Oh, wow, 96. 96.
Yeah, we're rolling. that's why I didn't want to stop the podcast today, even though I'm not in an ideal recording situation.
Okay. So, yeah, you got to give it to us now.
All right, you ready?
Hold on, let me start the timer.
Please don't
I'm
make
not
fun
gonna
of
say.
me.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna
You
say
know I
anything
don't.
bad.
You know I don't want to do this.
No, I know. I'm starting the timer. Whenever you're ready.
It's not. You're not going to be impressed either. It's literally just like 3 things that I have time to say. It's 1 minute. You know.
Ready when you are, sir. The minute is running.
Well, you're gonna have to restart it now.
Okay. 3, 2.
Oh, hang on. I'm nervous. Let me get a drink of water.
You should do that in your routine. Oh God.
Yeah. See that's funnier than.
I'm
That's
so
the thing.
nervous.
That's funnier than anything I'm gonna say.
No, I know, but I think you should put that in your bit. Just oh God, I'm so nervous.
Let me get a zen in. Okay. You ready? Let me know when you're ready. Count me down.
I'm ready whenever you are.
Give me a countdown from 5.
Welcome up to the stage, all the way from Tennessee, now residing in Austin, chasing his dream of killing Tony, Cody, Big Mac McClure.
I see I'm the only basketball player here. I got to say, at the age of 31, I'm proud to let you know. Oh, God, I got to start over. All right, let's start back at the beginning.
This is what I'm talking about, though. This is what I'm telling you. This needs to be tight. This needs to be second nature.
I've got the minute. Let's.
Well, I know, but it needs to be second nature. It needs to be like it needs to be like singing your favorite song.
All right,
welcome
3,
into
2,
the
1.
stage from Tennessee, Cody, Big Mac McClure.
I see I'm the only basketball player here. Before I get started, I want to let you guys know at the age of 31, I'm officially cancer-free.
Yeah.
I never had cancer. I hope I stay free of it.
Knock on wood.
You're fucking my minute up. I used to weigh over 300 pounds. Now I weigh over 330 pounds. Soon, if I keep up the hard work, I could weigh over 350 pounds. I have terrible credit, so I live in a rail car. It's nice. It's made of steel. In the summertime, it actually doubles as a tanning bed. Is that a minute?
It was 58 seconds or so.
See, that's about a minute.
Like, no, I like that. I don't like the last one though.
Well, I just threw that in there.
But yeah, I don't like the last one. You need a better final joke.
The basketball player gets laughs every time I say it because I'm always wearing gym shorts. The cancer thing is a nice little flip on them. It's a nice little flip because they're like, people always clap at that when you I say, before I get started, I want to let you guys, I just got to say I'm officially cancer free, and then I never had cancer. And then the 300 pounds thing, that works pretty good, but it's literally just like 3 little jokes. Like, that's what I've been telling you. It could be like, I
understand how long a minute is.
I got like 50 things I could put in there.
Well, you need to get a better one then, because the last one's not any good.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to do it.
I think the other 3 were really good though. I like the other 3. I just think it needs a better dismount. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a bad way. I think it's good. I think your last one's the one that you're going to get judged on, and you need to land the plane.
I do the gay joke sometimes about when I was accused of being gay because me and my roommate lived together, and he told his uncle we lived in a gated community, and he heard gay community and spread that rumor all over town. So I do a bit on that, but like, I don't know. There's so many things I can put in it, but
no, I think the first 45 seconds are good, and that you would have a good chance of making it. I just think the last joke wasn't good enough. And
Yeah.
again, I don't mean that in a mean way. I'm giving you just constructive criticism.
Well, I just wrote that down. I don't really think any of it's good.
Okay. I mean, well, then you really don't want to get on Kill Tony then. You need to quit putting your name in until you get something good, which was my point that we did a month ago.
You think I should go up and play a ukulele?
No, you don't seem like the Andy Kaufman type. That's what he would do.
Yeah. There's always some asshole that goes up and plays a guitar or something, you know.
And that's it? Does he sing or does he just play the guitar?
Yeah, they try to sing funny songs like they're Adam Sandler doing, you know, fucking Eight Crazy Nights or something.
Well, I mean,
like
he did that. He did the whole comedy music album too.
Yeah, they're just like,
I got a piece of shit car.
It's so annoying when there's some guy with a guitar. I think it's because everybody who does comedy wants to do music. Like they kind of go hand in hand, you know?
You just want to be an entertainer, baby.
Yeah. So
well, how do you feel? Are you feeling self-conscious?
Not good. I don't feel good at all. I don't even like that. I don't even think it's funny. But I just don't know. I don't know. I don't really know what to select for the minute, you know?
I think again that 3 of those are pretty good. I don't think the 4th one's good. You know, maybe work the you know, post-nut clarity one in there. I don't know. Maybe the masturbation one or the the great ant one. The great ant one's pretty good.
The great ant one. I do like that one.
Yeah,
that's my favorite one.
Yeah, I think that one's pretty good.
Talking about my aunt who tried to kill herself. So
yeah, your great aunt.
Turns out she wasn't that.
Yeah,
she wasn't that great of an aunt after all.
Yeah.
I got to do my favorite thing earlier.
Have sex?
No, I drove by a golf
Chinese
course.
buffet?
No, I drove by a golf course.
Cocaine?
You're running by a story. I drove by a golf course and got to honk at a guy during his backswing. That's my favorite thing in the world.
Did he miss it? Did he shank a shot?
I never know because I'm going on past. I never.
You just sit there and just giggle to yourself every time?
Yeah, it's my favorite thing in the world.
It's been a while since I flipped off a kid in the back seat. I need to do that soon. That gives me the same type of joy that blowing your horn at golfers gives you. Me flipping off kids in the back seat and watching them get so confused, that brings me joy.
I just love it so much because I'm driving, you know, there's nothing they can do. I just see some guy in a plaid shirt. God damn it. You know, they throw their arms up. And
to me, that's still the funniest thing Johnny Knoxville ever did in those Jackass movies was when they were hiding in the woods, just blowing the air horn at golfers.
I didn't know he did that, but that's
At the end of the first Jackass movie, that's kind of how it ends. Is he just go in the woods, they just keep blowing the air horn at people, and you know, with them, they're not on the move, right? So eventually, the golfers realize where they're at, and one guy just lines up his drive and tries to hit it in the woods at them. That's how mad they made that guy. He tried to drive one into their faces.
Classic.
But then they blow the air horn as he's trying to do it, and he misses that one too.
That's what you get for going out and golfing.
Yeah, enjoy that exercise in sunny weather.
That's what you get for carving up this business deals in this country and carving us up and exploiting us in capitalism. And
I mean, that's not the worst joke to put in there. That's kind of funny.
Honking during
just saying you got to do your favorite thing and then talk about just that about the golf right then.
I could just add that in the end.
Yeah, enjoy your business deals, assholes.
This is why this comedy is so frustrating for me, because when we just talk, there's all kinds of funny things that could be said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just because we're just talking to each other, cracking jokes and shit, just hanging out.
Well, I know, but that's my job to tell you when to jot something down.
But trying to get that into the routine, that's what I'm really struggling with.
I don't feel like it's hard. I think you just say, I got to do one of my favorite things today. Honk the horn during a guy's backswing.
It's just weird when everybody's up there trying to be funny, you know, but it's like some people are trying too hard, though. So that's what I'm trying to do, is to not try hard, because you don't want to sound like you're doing material.
Well,
you know,
the problem is I think the stand-up open mic setup is so different than just actually doing a comedy show. Because I feel like, just in my head at least, the stand-up open mic comedy show is always going to be like 75% comics there to do the show and or their family that has to be there to support them or friends. Versus a comedy show, like if you go to the club and you're wanting to hear a comedy show, you're there having a couple drinks, you're trying to laugh. So really, it's hard not to be funny during that type of comedy show, in my opinion, because people want to laugh. As long as your presentation is okay and you have a couple of good jokes, people will laugh and usually view it positively. The problem is you're doing a lot in front of other comics and everybody's judging each other and competing against each other.
Or yeah, they're either doing that or they don't care what you're saying. They're just worried about their own.
Yeah. Either way, either they're not there to laugh one way or the other.
Yeah, they're just worried about getting their stuff off.
And anything that you do say that might be funny, they're probably just going to steal from you anyway. So.
Yeah, probably so. that happens a lot, actually.
Right.
Yeah. There was a guy yelling out in front of the Scientology building this weekend too. I had that in my notes to mention that. There's a guy there's people here that go to Scientology church.
Uh-huh.
And there's a guy who stands out there. He spends like half his day just standing out there filming people walking out of the place and like just
trying to expose them.
Yeah, and just like telling them they suck and like you're a piece of shit for being here and like
nice.
He just spends his time.
I like this guy.
The guy's out there all the time.
You know what? You got to be dedicated to the cause.
I guess, but it's weird. There's a huge Scientology church. I guess it's one of the things the Californians brought here, probably.
I would say that's accurate.
It's like Scientology and In-N-Out and the palm trees.
And Cody McClure.
Because there's palm trees here, but they don't grow native to here.
Somebody just brought a bunch in?
They're just planted here.
That's weird. I don't like that.
They grow here, but they're
people plant them and then they grow.
Yeah, you can always tell where the Californians live if you drive through like the hills and it's all Spanish style houses with palm trees. It's like that's the infiltration. That's where they came from.
Any final thoughts before I wrap this up?
Not really. I saw a guy with a club foot yesterday. No, that pretty much covers it for me. Just living here. I'm hoping by Thursday I'll have my Wi-Fi situation worked out and things will be smooth.
Remember, if you're watching this and you want to comment on power ranking topics, please submit power ranking topics. Shout out to one listener. Let me see if I can find his name, because he followed the prompts and he gave us a topic. Let me see. Ben wants us to power rank the McDonald's menu. So please have your top 5 ready for Thursday, Cody. Power ranking the McDonald's menu.
Was that Ben Dover that said that?
No.
Our friend Ben Dover?
No.
I just wanted to make you cringe before we got off here.
I see why they're going to send you home in a couple more months.
So can we power rank that?
Yeah, on Thursday.
Oh, it's a tease.
Yeah.
You don't want to do it now.
Yeah, I was letting people know to keep sending in comments on the YouTube. A, because I like reading them all, and B, because it helps our algorithm, but also you can help produce the show for us. So, yeah. Thursday, power rankings will come back, and power rankings we will have, the power ranking the McDonald's menu.
How many rankings?
Power ranking has 5.
So I need to come up with the 5 best menu items.
Yeah, how is that fucking confusing to you?
Okay, I'm just making sure the parameters. I'm going to go ahead and get started on that now.
Were you that bad in school that now you have PTSD and like, hey, if I could ever go back and do it again, I'd be a good student?
No, I was just defining the parameters.
Well, I was talking about myself. I had those thoughts a couple of days ago. Like, man, I wish I was back in school. I would do so good now, and I would pay so much attention and apply myself.
You can go back to school. You can be that guy.
You can. Just me in a classroom full of 19 and 20-year-olds.
Can't be.